Hello everyone and welcome back to Married with Comics. I'm your host Laura and today we are talking about the one, the only, King Spawn. And the big question we're going to answer today is how much Spawn do you need to have read and understand to really appreciate this series? Hello everyone and welcome back to Married with Comics. I'm your host Laura. Now, thank you all so much for tuning in for my last video. The only thing I will say, make sure to turn on the closed captions. It's 3 minutes long. Take a look. I laughed a ton making it. I hope you all enjoyed it too. Just a quick reminder, we are doing a 500 subscriber giveaway for a beautiful Ken Lashley cover. It is remarked. It is signed by the artist. It is beautiful. To qualify for it, just make sure to like and comment on videos. Thanks to all of your help, we are continuing to grow and we will have some amazing giveaways coming soon. Now, King Spawn, of course, was released this week. And like I said earlier, I ended up grabbing two covers. So I grabbed the Todd McFarlane cover and then I grabbed the Booth cover. So eventually this will have multiple connecting covers and it will be gorgeous. Now, I did end up seeing that beautiful Todd McFarlane exclusive signed cover over at my LCS. Gorgeous. Did I appreciate it? Absolutely. Did I buy it? No! Did you know that up on eBay it's already going for up to $1,300 already? Absolutely crazy. There was a San Diego Comic-Con video. So it started with Todd McFarlane and J. Scott Campbell talking about these beautiful covers and some of the inspiration for the other cover artwork that he's done. And then we switched over to Todd McFarlane talking to Sean Lewis. And I mean, we all know Todd McFarlane does an amazing job with marketing, clearly, considering how much that King Spawn cover is already worth. He knows how to market a storyline, a character, a toy. He knows how to take it to that next level. And I was so excited for this interview, and then it kind of just stayed a little flat. And I couldn't figure out why they were sort of dancing over what was really going to happen in King Spawn. I was expecting some sort of exclusive preview, something, because it's San Diego Comic-Con. And then I read King Spawn, and now it makes complete and utter sense why they had to answer as vaguely as possible how excited they are or some of the specifics of the King Spawn storyline. Why? Because the first 2 pages of this comic have a humongous turning event that shapes the whole rest of the storyline. So don't let anyone spoil that for you. Pick it up, read it, but you will understand what I mean when I say that one, I wasn't expecting it to happen. It was a humongous kind of turn of events, and it then starts shaping everything for the rest of this storyline. Really, really brilliantly done. And it definitely keeps us on our toes as a reader. So the question is, how can I give you a review without doing the exact same Todd McFarlane, Sean Lewis dance? First thing to be very aware of is, just like Spawn's universe had multiple stories within one book. This does the same thing. So there are actually 5 stories within Spawn's universe. You have the main storyline, and then you have 4 kind of sub-stories within it. You have Haunt, Nightmare, The Hero, and Gunslinger. The Hero and Gunslinger were definitely my 2 favorite. I liked the other 2 a lot. The Hero was very eerie, and Gunslinger Spawn just made me so much more excited for that upcoming series. So they did a great job of teasing just enough so that then we're kind of amping up the excitement. Loved it. Now for the main storyline. A couple quick things that I will give as my disclaimer when I'm looking at the storyline. Now, no, I have not read all 320 some odd comics when it comes to Spawn. I'm working my way through the series, but no, I didn't kind of binge read this, and I did it intentionally because I know that there are a lot of great expert opinions here on YouTube of people who are diehard Spawn fans, and I love that they have that expertise. I wanted to make sure that when I'm giving the review, I give it from someone who is reading through the series, and I'm still going through it, So I wanted to see kind of how lost I was going to get, so that way I can help you all if you're in the same boat as I am. Because not everyone's had a chance to read 300 issues. It's a tall order to get done before these new series begin. So the small things that they put into this storyline that I absolutely love, you see the appearance of Sam and Twitch. You see at one point they mention, Spawn has to go back to the place that hell birthed you, which we all know is New York. So one of the favorite things that actually you'll see in the original series of Spawn, and then you will see here in King Spawn, is the newscasters. Now, if you've never seen these 3 images before, what it is you always have this event that of course occurs within Spawn, and then you have our female newscaster who tends to just stick with the facts, the figures, the deaths, that's it. Our second perspective is more the liberal response to it, which is more the human interest story. So if someone has passed away, then we're talking to the families. Third story is going to be your conservative perspective, which is definitely going to focus more on one aspect of the event and then how it ties into whether it's our rights or demand a call to arms. So I've always loved this in the Spawn run. And part of the reason that I think it's fascinating is we know that Todd McFarlane's been writing Spawn for 30 years. So we all know today how divisive it is to just start jumping news channels and watching the exact same incident on each channel. So to know that 30 years ago, Todd McFarlane not only identified this, but knew it was important enough to include in numerous Spawn issues, and to continue this in King Spawn. In the past, it was used, of course, to kind of further the storyline, to see a different perspective kind of outside of our superhero, and then see how his actions or the things that are happening to him are affecting everyone else. But then we get to King Spawn, and we get to this event, and now we're still seeing how it's affecting everyone, but it's also now life is imitating art and art is imitating life. It's just another brilliant way of taking something that we all know and appreciate, and now you throw Spawn into the mix. Makes for a very fun story. The storyline itself, to tell you without any spoilers, I feel like what they did is they took this story and they made it very real to some of the things that we are facing today. No, it is not a COVID-19 storyline. This is a different type of event that we have heard often enough in the news. It is a reality of today. So then you take this kind of reality check event and then you bring Spawn into it. And you bring in some of those raw emotions where instead of just, pausing and saying, oh, why did this happen? Woe is me. Then you have Spawn saying, no, this is a time for action. This is a time for answers. I will get down to the bottom of this, which we all appreciate him for. And we start kind of building and digging and looking into what has caused or who's behind this big event that took place. When you get to the end of that very first story within this book, now I'm dying for issue number 2. So it was enough of a catch at the very beginning to draw me into the storyline, to then kind of bring Spawn into this perfectly. They did a seamless job to give us those little hints of things that we love from the original series. Perfectly done. And then to end it on a note that makes me immediately want King Spawn issue number 2, fantastically done. The extra stories at the end are just like a bonus on top. Do I know all the characters from those storylines? No. So that is where I will admit that some of those, if they're tying into some of the rest of the series, those little hints I didn't catch as quickly as I would have liked. But it also looks like some of these are, again, developing the characters, giving us a little bit more. So at this point, I don't feel completely lost or like I've missed huge gaps. What I do feel is that as I continue to keep reading through Spawn and getting caught back up, that I will then actually appreciate those sub stories even more. So, if you are a new Spawn fan and you're trying to get through all the different, volumes, whether you're dealing with the compendium, the paperback volumes, you're reading this digitally, whatever method you're trying to read Spawn, there are plenty to choose from. Just saying, keep at it, but you don't have to have, at this particular point in time, a ton of Spawn knowledge of that universe to be able to get into issue number 1. There is going to come a point where everything's going to start interconnecting and you're going to want to know all the rest of that information. So for right now, you at least can read it while you're working on all the rest. Fair enough? So my big questions for you all is, are you reading Spawn, or are you completely caught up, which I'm envious of? Are you reading the King Spawn, Spawn's Universe, Scorched? Are you reading those stories as well, or are you going to wait for the trades? Let me know down in the comments, and I will talk to you all again very soon. Have a great day, everyone.